Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Monday morning meditation. Thank you for being here and adding your energy, your light, and your your presence and your desire to meditate on this Monday morning. As I was thinking about our time today, I was just noting, I actually read something this morning that was said a lot to me. And one of the things that it was talking about was how our mind is hydra headed, was the term used, and how when we try to quiet the mind in one area, it can pop up in another. Like we may be quieting it down about that person or situation that's bothering us, and then it comes out in complaints about other things or whatever. And sometimes it's just hard to just be and allow ourselves just to be still and present with ourselves. And it was also saying because of this, because of the many ways the mind can go and the thousand different directions it can go in, sometimes we need many different tools to help us unplug from that mind and plug into that more quiet place within. So when we do our meditation times on Mondays, we work with different, and anytime there's a million different meditation methods out there, and we just try on different ones because sometimes our pure air in, everything else out can work beautifully, and it's soothing and it's calming and it gives us a focus. And other times our minds are just going all over the place and we can't even focus on, or it's difficult to focus even on that pure air in, everything else out. So today I thought we could go back to basics, the basics of mindfulness, which is just let everything be and watch the reactions that come up within us, or watch, if there's a loud bird outside, then we just listen and we notice any reactions we might have about that loud bird, whether it's, oh my gosh, that's obnoxious, or wow, isn't nature amazing? Both of those, even though maybe one is more acceptable to us, of, oh, nature's beautiful, or maybe the other one is acceptable. I don't know, whichever one is acceptable to you, there's still reactions, whether they're positive or negative, there's still reactions. And when we're working on quieting the mind, we're quieting all the reactions, not just the ones we don't like, but all of them. And basic mindfulness practice is just letting everything be, noticing with our five physical senses, our, sight, if your eyes are open, but even with your eyes closed, we can kind of see our imagination going behind the scenes. And that's kind of an eye, can be kind of a visual response also. And what we're hearing, what we're feeling in our bodies, any kind of taste in our mouth. What else do we have? Smell. Just noticing what's coming into those senses and just letting it be, not having any judgment about it, not having any other thought, and having compassion. The definition of mindfulness is being present in the moment. That's one. Two, without judgment. And three, with compassion. So being present in the moment without judgment and with compassion. So we're going to practice that today in our time together. So I invite you to just relax and be present where you are, wherever you're sitting, if you're laying down, wherever you are, just feel your body in that space, in the chair. And take a couple of deep breaths to let your mind, body system know that we're slowing down. We're turning our attention from doing in our morning to being. And I invite you to notice your body, the sensations that are making themselves known right now. Maybe it's simply the contact of your body on your seat, on the physical place you're resting in. Perhaps your feet are on the floor, and just feel that contact of the soles of your feet on the floor. I have shoes on, so I'm feeling the soles of my feet in my shoes. You might notice as you put your attention there, you feel the tingling of sensation at work. Even when our bodies seem still, there's so much going on inside. Just feel that contact. I like to think of that as the awareness of my cells and my skin and my feet. And our attention there enlivens that awareness of what's happening. It's always there. But because we're paying attention to it, we are more in tune with that activity that's happening. That sense of touch on our feet. Now I invite you to turn your attention to other body sensations that stand out to you. Maybe you haven't eaten breakfast yet, so you feel the sensation of hunger in your stomach. Be there with it. Notice its activity without judgment, without going into mental action around that. Just letting it be. Maybe you have a sore muscle or area of your body. Let your attention be there. And this might be where not having judgment or opinion about it is more challenging. If you do, just notice those judgments and opinions without identifying with them, without following them, without getting into conversation in your mind about that. Just notice any discomfort with compassion. You might notice tingling in that area of discomfort. You might notice the pain more acutely because you're paying attention to it. Just notice that. And notice reactions to that. Just notice them. You might notice that there's a lot of reaction to the physical discomfort. Notice what that's like. And notice what it's like to have compassion for both, for the just the physical pain itself or physical discomfort, and having compassion for the reaction to it, the mental story around it. You might notice yourself moving into a place of acceptance of both of these. There's a fact that says that discomfort is there, and there's a fact that there's a mental reaction, perhaps emotional reaction to that discomfort. And there's also this emerging fact that there's a part of you able to watch both of those, mutually exclusive from them. And now let's focus on the sounds we hear. Just let your attention move to your hearing. Maybe you're in a very quiet space and you only hear silence. Just let yourself immerse yourself in that quiet. Notice any reactions you have to that. Maybe you're hearing birds, airplanes, people around you. Notice the sound and notice your internal reaction to those sounds. Without judgment, just noticing. And if your mind wanders as you listen, just notice that. We have our outer listening and we have our inner listening when we're paying attention to the thoughts in our head or even going unconscious around them. Bring yourself back to the present. The present sounds around you. In this way, we're using those outer sounds as our anchor for our awareness and our attention, bringing our focus back to them. Move our attention to our sight. Even if your eyes are closed, let your awareness be in your eyes, your attention, noticing the backs of your eyelids, and the myriad of shapes and colors that can show up there. Notice your eye movement, trying to follow them. Maybe your eyes are open. Just notice what you're seeing without the story. But you can notice any story arising. Don't follow it. Our eyes are so connected to our physical brain. They're actually made out of the same cells as our brains are. So there's a lot of intelligence, there's a lot of information that passes through our eyes. Even for people who aren't able to see outwardly very well, there's such great information coming in. A lot of thought processing going on in the eyes before information even reaches the brain. So that's a lot of activity going on in our eyes that we don't even know about throughout our day. But because of this, you might notice as you let your attention be on your eyes and what they're seeing, you may feel a closeness with yourself. When we look into another person's eyes, there can be such great intimacy or aversion, that too. Such is the way that our eyes communicate what's going on the inside. We just watch with detachment, watch with a compassionate neutrality. Maybe your mind starts imagining, and that's what you're seeing in your eyes. Bring your attention back to what's right in front of you that your eyes are seeing. Bring your attention back from imagination to the more grounded physical experience. Noticing the physical facts of what your eyes are seeing, wherever they are. My eyes are closed. I'm seeing it's kind of a brownish, gray, yellow colors. You might notice tingling around your eyes because your attention is there. You might notice your eyes being pulled in some direction. Let it happen without judgment or story. Let your attention return to your body sensations and the presence of your body and your chair and your space. And perhaps you can now, or perhaps with practice, you can feel the tingling all throughout your body as you just pay attention to it. The energy of what's happening all throughout you, and that energy that sustains the body and all the activity therein. And sometimes I like to end my meditations with this feeling every cell of my body filled with this tingling energy of light, joy. It carries me through my day. I invite you to continue if you have time to this morning to keep using your senses, moving from one to another, not quickly. Just noticing what you notice. You can do this anytime. You can do this while you're in a waiting room, waiting for an appointment, a doctor or dentist or anywhere else. You can do this waiting in line at a grocery store. Just noticing what you're seeing without judgment, just being present. Such great practice and strengthening of that part of us that manages the ups and downs of life. We can just be present with whatever's happening as we can be present with whatever's happening. We're not as pushed over by it. We can still feel joy. We can still feel urgency around something. But we take that to a higher level and just be with it. Do what's ours to do and move through it with ease. And that is one of the truest values of meditation. So if you can continue meditating, I invite you to do so. If you need to move about your day, then take a couple of deep breaths to let your mind body system switch again. Be present, open your eyes, and look around on the outside to see what is around you. Feel your feet on the floor, your bottom in the chair. Another deep breath. And just take that presence and that awareness with you throughout your day and throughout your week. And have a wonderful week. Practice this a little bit every day, many times a day if you're around and are waiting a lot. It's a great practice to do in the meantime of life. Have a great week, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.